Hi, I'm Carl Koslowski with Big Hollywood, and I'm interviewing Basil Hoffman, who is the lead in an exciting new series called Courage, New Hampshire. So, who do you play in Courage, New Hampshire?
I play an attorney who represents the Crown and represents the governor of New Hampshire. And this attorney's name is Simeon Trapp, which is a name I've fallen in love with.
That's a great name,
yeah. Jim Riley came up with it, and it's almost like Charles Dickens would come up with a name like that.
Are you like a positive character, or one of the villains that you're working with the government at this time? Because it's set in the Revolutionary.
Well, let's say positive to myself and villainous to everybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, one of those juicy roles. So,
yeah.
What do you feel that this show's messages? Do you feel like it resonates in any particular way for the times we're in, or is it just meant to be, good, clean fun about the past?
Well, the best part of it is that it's fabulous drama, and it has a lot of tremendously authentic history in it. It's about morals, and it's great drama. It's great dramatic literature that Jim Riley has, and it's the events of the time from the perspective of a small town in New Hampshire, of the events leading up to the Revolutionary War, up to the Declaration of Independence, and up to the War for Independence.
And have you done other sorts of historic roles like this? Anything else in your career set during the Revolutionary War era?
I have not.
No,
I have not. This is my first.
So is this a big challenge for you? How did you prepare for this kind of playing a major role in this kind of time period?
Well, it was easy because of Jim's writing. The character is so well written, and he's so truthful to the period that it's easy to become absorbed in that. When you read the script, it's just remarkable. I hope you get a chance to read these scripts at some point.
Okay.
To see how alive the scripts are, and the characters are so clear, so well drawn, and Simeon Trapp is just a delight to play.
Then, what would you say has been like the most awful thing you've ever had to do as a character?
Well, I think maybe this is it.
Oh, really?
Well, sure, because of the implications. Because it could wreck the founding of a nation if there were more characters like Simeon Trapp, in the period.
Sure.
So it's the implications of a guy like Simeon Trapp makes him ultimately, I think, maybe the worst kind of a character you can play.
Well, I think
except for an axe murderer.
Right there, we've got connections to the modern era and half the politicians in Washington, right?
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
So,
I don't have to comment further on that, right?
No, not right now. But so as far as what would you say is the most fun part of this role, like playing into this era?
Well, one of the best parts of playing this was in the first episode when I got to destroy a young girl in court.
Okay.
That was my favorite, and and Jim Riley wrote a fabulous line for me.
Okay.
As I'm explaining to another character what I'm being paid to do.
Sure.
And my line is, I'm being paid to gut and clean the king's fish, and that is precisely what I intend to do.
Scary. Okay. So it was a good thing we have a lot of school kids here today, and we're here at Riley's Farm, the location for Courage, New Hampshire, where they're shooting. And good thing those kids would be running scared. Where did you grow up, and how did you get into acting?
Well, I grew up in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Went to college in New Orleans, and I was on my way to getting an economics degree in the School of Business Administration.
Well, okay.
And two girls I knew talked me into trying out for a play.
Isn't that how it always works for actors?
Yes, and especially because I didn't want to do it. And I said, why would I do that? I'd never been in a play, never done it.
Because you got two girls asking you to do it. That's
and they said it's a great way to meet girls. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So now, if you ever read someplace or hear someplace some famous actor says, well, became an actor to meet girls, it's probably the truth.
Yeah, probably the truth, yeah. You mentioned to me in another conversation that Robert Redford has had like an enormous impact on your career. So I was wondering, what did he do, or what was your involvement with him that led to get the ball rolling on your career so well?
Well, I had a meeting with a director named Alan Pakula, who was a big, fabulous director in Hollywood. And it was a meeting for all the President's Men. And he saw on my resume that I had done an off-Broadway show called An Unpublished Story. And Alan's looking at me, he says, well, Basil, he says, I see you did this play off-Broadway called An Unpublished Story. He says, well, Basil, we're doing a movie about a published story. He says, I think there's something in this for you. So I got the part of a small part of one of the associate editors at the Washington Post. And so I did my little part, and I'm there on the set for 6 weeks. And Redford chooses me from that to do one of the telephone voices that Woodward has, a character named Kenneth Dahlberg. And from that, I found out that I had a relationship with Robert Redford. So 2 years later, Robert Redford does The Electric Horseman for Sidney Pollack, and he asks for me in that picture. So I get to work with another director who's going to win an Academy Award. In the meantime, the year before that, I did Alan Pakula's next picture, which was Comes a Horseman. Then Redford directed Ordinary People, which won an Academy Award for the picture and for Redford, and for Timothy Hutton, and for Alvin Sargent, who wrote the screenplay.
Good Lord. So you're like basically good luck. I mean, if people want to win Oscars, they got to put you in the movie.
Well, what happens is that people start to think you're good. Steven Spielberg hired me because he saw me in All the President's Men, and he hired me for Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Sure.
But all of a sudden, the ball starts rolling. So it is truly because of my association with Redford that people started to think I was good. And a lot of it has to do with reputation and the stuff you're doing. And I didn't choose to have a movie career as opposed to having a TV career. Just the way it worked out, and I love it.
Well, then, having worked with Robert Redford, he's one of Hollywood's most famous liberals, but you're an out and proud conservative person. So you mentioned to me once that that you used to be liberal, but there was a transformation in your thinking. Would you care to comment on that? And has it impacted your career in any way, being on the other side of the political spectrum?
Well, I would say that it happened because I had voted for Bill Clinton the first time. And it was in the course of Bill Clinton's first administration that I began to observe politics more for some reason. And I realized that the values of the Democrat Party were not my values. It's just the way it was. And I started to pay attention to politics and think more about it. And I realized that I really am a conservative. And that has happened. Now, has it affected my career? I have no way of knowing. I can't, an actor can't know if he's not being hired for a particular reason. But I will say that my career continues to get better.
Okay.
So some people are, and I know people are hiring me, some people are hiring me because I'm conservative. Or they're finding out that I'm conservative because I'm so openly conservative. But most of the people I work for are quite politically liberal. And they know what my politics are, and it doesn't matter to them. So I would say, generally speaking, it probably hasn't hurt me.
Great project you've had recently was you were part of the another Best Picture winning movie, The Artist, and so I was just wondering what was that experience like, being caught up in such an unusual film for our time, like black and white silent film.
Well, it was a terrific experience because I got the job. So that's always good for an actor.
Yeah, sure.
And it was curious to me because I had no idea anything about this movie or why somebody would choose to make it or why somebody would invest in it or what the hopes were for it. And it went from being a curious kind of job to have to being heaven because it won all these awards, and now I get a lot of attention that I wouldn't have gotten if it had turned out to be an art house movie in Paris.